funny, and it's kind of sad. I guess it's kind of bittersweet. I guess it's one of these kind of bittersweet things, these laughing through tears things. After so much time, after so many years, he finally comes back to his mom. And at first, you know, like, who is this? Then, the moment of realization. Oh God, it's my very own son. And they are hugging each other right there in the kitchen. And you know, that is so moving. I mean, that is so moving to see that he has finally found that thing, that strength to forgive his mom. That he has forgiven her alcoholism. That he has forgiven her for running around with other men. That he has forgiven her for destroying his father's faith in himself and driving him to suicide. And they are both kind of crying and laughing and crying again, all at the same time in the same kitchen he sat in as a little boy witnessing his parents' terrible arguments. His dad in tears pouring her liquor down the sink at 10 o'clock in the morning, while she screams how if he was a real man with one iota of self-respect, she wouldn't need to booze herself to death, would she? And there are these tiny scratches in the table, which he recalls having made secretly with a fork. And you're aware, you know, like of the continuity of things, the bittersweetness of things. And then he says, "Hey, Mom, I have a surprise for you." And Mom kind of breaks away and wipes her eyes and says, "What surprise?" And he says, "Look out the window, Mom." And out the window, there's like this dusty pickup with two tiny, tiny kids in the back, kind of staring, just staring into the camera. And she can hardly believe these are her very own grandchildren. Then he says, "Mom, I want you to meet Annie." And that's when this woman, Annie, comes out of the pickup. And she's like real tall and fair and strong-limbed with these clear blue eyes that look straight into your heart. And she's like, well, I guess she's like every man's dream of what a good woman should be. And every mother's dream of the wife she would choose for her boy. And it turns out how he and Annie and the kids are making this new, well, life. They are building this new life for themselves, away from the city, living off the land, growing stuff, trapping stuff, boring under the earth for clean, pure water, educating their own children in the belief that man is free before God to forge his own destiny and take whatever means necessary to protect his family. And over lunch, which is basically a kind of chicken salad with mayonnaise, we learn how he is in fact the commanding officer of a group of like-minded individuals who have armed themselves, not out of any thirst for blood, but out of necessity, because this is war. War? Says Mom. How do you mean, war? And Annie has to explain to Mom how they don't believe in taxes or welfare or any of that shit. How this war is a war against a government that has taken the bread out of the working man and has given it to the pornographers and abortionists of this world. It's a war against the God-forsaken faggots. It's a war against the crack dealers and the blacks. It's a war against the conspiring Jews and their attempts to rewrite history. It's a crusade against the degenerate images which masquerade as art. It's a war against all those who deny our right to bear arms. And Annie has like this inner light. She's like, wow, she's cut. She's cut through all the confusion and chattering voices of our lives and our times and found this kind of really, what? thing, I guess. This like absolute thing. It's like she's found this thing. It's like, hey, Annie has found this thing, this key, yes, this key thing, this secret, this certainty and simplicity, this secret and simple thing we all search for throughout our lives, and which is, I guess, the truth. Yes. And it's kind of moving to see how attentive he is to the kids. How he's the one that cuts up their chicken and wipes their mouths with a paper napkin. The image, you know, of this big guy in camouflage doing all that caring domestic stuff. Because family is at the heart of things, I guess.